Netscape in the 90s to OpenAI, the IPO trend is to the moon. This is not financial advice to buy or sell any financial product or services. I'm just an ordinary guy who looks at trends. OpenAI is banking on something big, something bigger than anything we've seen before in the IPO market. The press releases of recent indicate that they're going in the direction of $1 trillion valuation for their IPO. The press release headline of October 29, 2025 says, Altman touts $1 trillion AI vision as OpenAI restructures to chase scale. That is an incredible headline, no matter how you look at it. The goal of these press releases is to overcome doubts, create FOMO, get investors and users excited about the future. It's not just about getting to the IPO. This company wants to succeed beyond the IPO. Their latest press release happened while I was working on the video with yet another giant headline. The press release published by October 30th, 2025 provides some high-level information about the direction of the company at this point. The press release headline says, OpenAI lays groundwork for a juggernaut IPO at up to $1 trillion valuation. Let's take a look at the 90s internet bubble mania. In my opinion, started with Netscape in 1994 to understand some more context about what's going on here. Most of the mania really kicked off into high gear in 1997 and ran to about 2000. In the 90s, a combination of cheap money from Wall Street made investing look like a great idea. These funds from regular people also helped fuel what Wall Street was selling, a get-rich-quick scheme. The Taxpayer Relief Act of 1997 helped by lowering marginal gains by investors, so let the frenzy continue. The 90s to post-2000 boom-bust internet bubble chart shows how this mania became a frenzy, and as the frenzy faded, how it all came back down to earth by 2003. The 30th anniversary of that IPO happened this year on August 9th, 1995. Netscape was one of the first companies to launch into an IPO without making profit. They made money, but not enough to cover all the expenses. The IPO started at 28, but quickly rose to 71, then fell to 58 by market close. The insiders, the backers, Klein and Perkins, and those in the company holding options made huge returns, and Netscape was valued at $2.9 billion at the end of that day. The concept changed the thinking on Wall Street. Up to then, the company had to make profits before an IPO would take place. When investment banks along with VCs realized profits were not a requirement anymore, things changed fast. Welcome to the invention of the company as a cash burn machine that goes IPO. Now anything was possible. Any company, any idea, doesn't matter. As long as you can write a press release, have something that might be a product or service, and have a website, it will all get funded, betting on huge returns from an IPO to pay for all the risky investments. Netscape proved it was more than a shell of a company. It had real products to help enable users not only to view the web, but to also build the web and manage the contents. Those products helped make money while the browsers brought in users and the media attention. Netscape Browser went on as a product as part of AOL Time Warner. It survived the 2000s downturn and lasted until 2008. Also, an open source spin-off of browser code happened before the AOL Time Warner bought it. The spin-off of the Mozilla, which became the Mozilla org, which provides the famous Firefox browser today. The incredible part of this story for end users is this product, which took lots of money to build, was provided free, and so is Firefox today. Back to present day about OpenAI. It began in 2015, and through lots of struggles, OpenAI is at a point to launch next year as a publicly traded business. It's taken 10 years to arrive at this point of both company and AI evolution. At the time of this writing, OpenAI is reported to have lost $11.5 billion last quarter. The amount invested into a money-losing company is incredible with AI products that often hallucinate, which means provide incorrect results, cost huge sums to run per hour, while most end users pay nothing for the service. it's difficult to understand the business math. The objective is to grow past the losses and arrive at a solution where most people are using the product for something, much like Netscape or any other browser people have and will continue to adopt this new tech for their own reasons. However, most of the users, like I've said before, pay nothing for this free service. So exactly how will OpenAI arrive at profits in the future is a bit unclear, as Netscape did not have to build out data centers or buy incredibly large amounts of GPU processors for their backend to work. Netscape was simply downloaded for free and installed on the users' computers, which users bought with their own money. They have some pay for subscription services at OpenAI that provide more uses and they just created a new AI video making platform. How this new platform will benefit anyone or position in the market remains a bit unclear at this point. Are these pay for services enough? Probably not. They must have other plans to make more money, such as provide large corporate services to companies to save more money and time than what it costs for those companies to buy and pay for those services. The expansion plans are a bit of a riddle. Earning hundreds of billions in revenue within a few years. That's an interesting goal. Consume more electricity and data center infrastructure than is available. This is why they're building more data centers, and these data centers, for the type that they require for the AI specific data centers, cost vast amounts of money. With this press release announcing the intention of the IPO near a certain time and date next year, the company is now on a path internally to be able to deal with the realities of the post-IPO situation. There is a lot of work that must be done to comply with rules and regulations post-IPO. The result of all of these changes, of course, is to provide accurate quarterly and yearly financial information to every public, just like every public company is expected to issue. The long-awaited restructuring is complete, and it shows their larger backers owning stakes in this new company called OpenAI Group PBC, with Microsoft being the largest owning member at 27%. These changes so far unlock more funding from SoftBank of $30 billion. All good news so far for this business, which by their own admission is money losing at a high rate per month. Can they make it to the IPO with the cash burn they currently have? Now that potentially the largest IPO so far announced, more press will keep flowing to the public, keeping that FOMO going. In conclusion, from an end of IPO day Netscape valuation of $2.9 billion to a $1 trillion pre-IPO press release, expectations have changed in scale. The overall business model is similar. Company loses money and makes deals along the way to gain scale and importance. The risk and payoffs are much larger this time around. Both companies created products that hooked users for years at an unbeatable price of free. Will the OpenAI IPO create a frenzy of other companies to IPO afterwards? Will OpenAI IPO change the rules for VCs and other large backers to only fund super fast growing, super large business concepts, essentially unlimited potential businesses with valuations exceeding $1 trillion? If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and think about this. The Netscape IPO changed the requirements on Wall Street as to what kind of company can IPO, and that change has remained. Will OpenAI change the scale of IPO and the kind of companies that could fund it? We have no idea if OpenAI will survive the next 10 years. However, I think it will change the IPO game, in my opinion. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and ring the bell if you like these kind of videos. See you in the next one.